It's heavy. I'm going to do my Q&A video whilst I sort through a couple of boxes of spanners. Now, I got all of this for 20 quid. They come out of a house clearance. The bloke, he said he can't sell the spanners, so he just does them in boxes. Right, this video, I'm not going to do any fancy editing. I'm not going to do any B-roll. I'm just going to talk. There is 4 sections. We've got a couple of questions each. I'm going to talk for about 15 minutes. I'll do a quick edit, if that, and then it will go out tonight. It's split into money, mindset, general, and then the future. They are massive, aren't they? Here's quite a big one. That's called a King Dick, that is. So there's got to be about 200 spanners here. So what's that, like 10p each? Talking of money, how am I funding the build? Do I have a side income? Me personally, I bought a house, a bungalow in Essex with my mate. We bought that for just shy of 200,000. We put a loft conversion in, so a hip to gable with a double dormer and a big rear extension, fully refurbished it, and then sold that for just shy of 420,000. It cost about 80 grand to do. That was obviously through my wages and what would you say? Oh, a little bit of borrowing, but obviously I paid all that off. So I had a bit of money from that. Obviously we split the money that we made because we split the build costs. And then the majority comes from Lou, basically. So that's my other half. Back in the day, she used to work in investment banking. So she got up to VP level. So that's a lot of bloody money. She had to stop that because of mental health issues. But while she was there, she had purchased 2 flats in London. So one got sold, and then the other one is on a mortgage. So that got remortgaged to pull out a little bit more money for this. Talking about mental health issues, that's the reason why I was going to stop my channel last year, and I shut it down for, I think it was like 2.5 months or so. So Lou had an episode where she ended up in hospital for 6 weeks, and I went there every single day with Arthur to try and get her back into this world, basically. So she went into something that's called psychosis. That's like the top end. She's got bipolar. That, obviously, you can go up and down, and everyone's different. She doesn't really have the down stages. It's a few times in her life she's ended up in mania, and then you go into psychosis. So you lose touch of reality. She was on a different planet, and funny enough, one of the things that we experienced, that I was the king and she was the queen of Zanika, and we had to get back to our planet. So yeah, it's a horrible experience. I don't know whether any of you would ever experience that in life, or one of your family or friends, but it is a reality and not many people know about it. Just to give you a little bit of a taster, obviously this is just a touch of what happens. I had the soul of Vladimir Putin inside me for 6 odd weeks, so that made it difficult for her to like trust me and stuff. Like, she thought that she could heal children and that were sick, and she could talk to Boris Johnson in her head. Just stuff like that, really random. When you think about it, your brain, it's amazing that you can do a lot of the things that you can do, and it's all these little electrical connections inside your head. And there only needs to be a slight imbalance for all of that to get muddled up. She come out of hospital. I got her here quickly because she was on her own before, obviously in London, whilst I was doing this. So I finished up as quickly as I could. She had to stay in the caravan for a little bit, and then she was obviously in the lodge. She got back to work relatively quickly, a little bit sooner than she was really ready for. Lou is a source of income, basically. She's not in investment banking anymore. She's actually a business analyst, but she still does quite well, but nowhere near what she used to before. But yeah, that's where the majority of the money comes from initially. So the budget, there's a limited amount of money, and it doesn't grow on trees. So in an ideal world, I would have got the whole thing done for like 600. That's including purchase price. That got revised. Obviously, we've got the lodge and everything. So I think it's probably going to be, it's going to be about 670 all in all. We purchased it for 300, and then it'll be a 370 build, including like planning fees, professional fees, insurances, warranties, everything, I think, anyway. But that's a whole video in itself, going through the accurate costs. So yeah, currently we've got 70 grand left. I'm not sure we're going to finish it within that. I mean, I'll finish the building. Not sure about the outside in terms of landscaping, but that is, when you think about it, it's just me and mostly just material costs. Obviously I have to pay the electrician and a plasterer, and the air source heat pump guys, and obviously the stuff that I can't necessarily do. Unexpected costs, not particularly. I suppose everything just costs a little bit more than you expect it would, in general. The borehole, for example, I thought it would cost like 6-7 grand, but that ended up costing, what, 10 or 11,000 or something. So everything's always like a few grand more. You can't really do much about it though, because obviously materials are materials at the end of the day. We had quotes for like 20 odd grand for the borehole, and I was thinking, well, if our two next door neighbours have got hand dug wells, then maybe I'll just do that, because I didn't want to spend 20 grand on getting water. That's ridiculous. Just to mention, Lou's completely fine. You would never know that she's gone off to La La Land a couple of times in her life. And when you think about it, she's done really well for herself. She's done well in her career and everything, and she's ended up with me. Okay, moving on to mindset. So one of the questions is, would I do it again, i.e. a self-build? I assume it's because like most people get proper stressed out by these things, and they go, oh, I'd never do that again. But I mean, it feels like it's my, I wouldn't say it's my calling, but it's my bag. Do you know what I mean? I like doing building stuff. Maybe not on this scale. I mean, just referring back to money, hopefully this is going to be worth a lot more by the time I'm finished. So this is, Lou's contributed a lot, but I'm contributing a lot in terms of mind power and hopefully equity. There is money in property, isn't there? So I did always want to be like a property developer. I'm not quite sure how I'd pursue that any further, but I mean, for us, I reckon I've probably got another one in me. Not necessarily a self-build, maybe like a big, massive like renovation. But yeah, maybe, I mean, obviously after this one, we'll have a rest for a few years. But at some point, if there's something that comes up, then we might have to jump at it. Especially if it's something that Lou really loves. She likes the old period properties. I do as well, but I mean, I know they're a bit more of a nightmare. I would never say never, and I wouldn't not do it because of the enormity of the task, because at the end of the day, you just break it down, you do a bit at a time, and then you'll get there in the end. Someone asked, how do I stay positive? That was Liam. I think he was having a bit of a mare at the time, or he just had enough of his renovation, and he was just like, oh, I don't know how you can do this. I wouldn't say that I'm positive. I just am. I just exist. I don't really go one way or the other, I don't think. I mean, on YouTube, when you have a YouTube channel and you've got talk to camera and everything, you do have to take it up a level. I mean, now I'm just talking to you like a normal human being. I'm not trying hard or anything. I'm not trying to be positive or anything. I haven't taken it up a level. This is just normally how I speak. You might notice it, like I might start the video a little bit more and then I bring it down. It's just because people don't want to watch some boring geezer just waffling. Like not many people are still watching this at the moment. But yeah, I tend not to think about it. I don't get negative. I might get the ump every now and then. Like I said to him, the build doesn't upset me or affect me emotionally. Only people do. So it's like two separate things, really. Like, say you employ a tradesman and then they fuck something up. Like, it's not that you're upset with that person or even yourself for trusting that person or employing that person. It's not an inanimate object that's the wrong way around or something. Okay, we're going to move to the general section. These questions are courtesies of other YouTubers. What happened to the camera? So the camera that you're watching at the moment isn't my original one, and that you might have had the answer to that already. But so my last video, I done a renovation on a flat for a single mum, and the 3-year-old I was entertaining and showing how to do stuff, and he was rather interested in my camera. He was okay at first. He did knock it over once, at least once, maybe twice, and then because I had kind of like let him loose on the camera and let him hold it and stuff, when I wasn't looking, he decided that he couldn't turn it on, so he would just spin the top. So at the top of my camera, I've got a Pocket 2, a DJI Pocket 2, and it's on a gimbal. And obviously there's ribbons that connect inside, and he's obviously damaged one of them. So whenever I moved the camera about, the screen would freeze. It's just one of the things. It's not the end of the world, and I just got a replacement for 130 quid. Keith's asked me what are my favourite YouTube channels that are not like trade related and DIY and everything like that. Let's start with music. I listen to a lot of indie folk music. So Indie Folk Central, Alex Rainbird, Diary of a CEO. He's got some interest, that's like a podcast almost. And then probably my other one that I watch all of is Matt Armstrong. So he does like car stuff, like builds supercars and everything. I'm not particularly interested in cars. I don't really care. Like if I won the lottery, I wouldn't buy a Lambo or anything like that. I just not particularly bothered. I'd still get a second-hand car and stuff and try and keep it like under 20 grand. I just think it's just a depreciating asset, and you shouldn't do that kind of thing. But I just like the way that he does stuff in his videos. Okay, future. What are my goals for 2024? Fucking finish this. I'd love to finish it, but I don't know whether I'll be able to. I should be able to, but I mean, last year, it went bloody quickly, didn't it? What have I done? It doesn't feel like I've done anything. I've got the windows in. And I flattened outside, which took me, I don't know, 10 days or something. But it doesn't feel like I've got anywhere this year. I'm not really sure what happened. No idea what happened. Yeah, I say finish this place. I mean, get a lot done so we can move in. Like, we'll be in here next Christmas. and we can have the family here. That's Lou's family anyway. I went to her mum and dad's Christmas. I cooked for 11 people. So hopefully I'll be able to do that here next year, but we'll see. And then there was a couple of questions saying, what am I going to do afterwards, after I finish the build, in terms of like a job and stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Push comes to shove, I might go back in an office. I can't really see myself being a tradesman, in all honesty. I'm 40. I shouldn't really be doing that kind of shit, should I? Like, I do it. I've got a dodgy back. There's a disc in the middle of my back that doesn't like me sometimes. What would I do? I don't. I was thinking about just being like a handyman, but that's obviously a trade. I might sound like a bit of a cock now, but out of the IQ tests that I've done, I've scored pretty high. Now you would think from that I would have a high earning potential, but I don't know how to do that. No idea. I mean, I should have my own business, basically. That's what I'm saying. I should have my own business. I should be able to figure something out where I could earn a lot of fucking money out of a business. And for the life of me, I can't. I don't know. I don't know what to do. But I'm not necessarily about loads of money and supercars and everything. I just want a comfortable life where I've got more of my own time. Kind of like similar to now. I like the way things are now. I know it can't stay this way forever, but I like doing YouTube. Doing this combines everything that I like. I like making stuff. I like building stuff. I like being creative. I like editing. Do you know all of that kind of larky? So doing exactly what I do now. Oh, obviously this is a little bit of side income. I earn about £300 a month off this, but I suppose if I could make that £3,000 a month, I'd be happy. I'd just carry on doing that. Maybe that's the goal of 2024 as well. If I haven't got a substantial following on YouTube where I could make £3,000 a month, by the time I finish this house, then I know I can't carry on doing YouTube, but we'll see. I don't know whether that was interesting or not, but it just is, and I need to edit this quickly and then go and do some other stuff. And I will see you next year. Enjoy your New Year celebrations. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.